An evening that changed everything.
There's no time to waste.
The Metropolitan Arts
understand,
Center
but we
glowed
must
with
follow
golden
protocol.
light as guests arrived for the annual Healthcare Heroes Gala. Olivia Bennet stood near the entrance, smoothing down her navy blue dress with nervous fingers. She had borrowed the elegant gown from Harper, who stood beside her looking effortlessly confident in crimson silk. "You need this break," Harper insisted, linking her arm through Olivia's. "You have worked 70-hour weeks for 3 months straight. One night of free food and maybe some interesting conversation would not hurt you at all." Olivia managed a small smile. She knew Harper meant well, but after spending years building her reputation as one of the city's most reliable emergency physicians, social gatherings felt like wasted time. Still, the hospital director had personally requested that several young doctors attend to represent the new generation of medical professionals. The ballroom buzzed with conversation as hundreds of guests mingled beneath crystal chandeliers. Waiters glided between clusters of people carrying trays of champagne and appetizers. Olivia accepted a glass of sparkling water and scanned the crowd, recognizing several hospital board members and wealthy donors whose contributions kept the emergency department running. A stranger's gaze. Across the room, Nathan Sterling leaned against a marble column, his tailored charcoal suit fitting perfectly across his broad shoulders. At 34, he had built Sterling Tech Solutions from a college startup into a powerhouse that revolutionized healthcare technology. Despite his success, events like these felt increasingly hollow. "You have that look again," Gabriel Ross remarked, appearing beside his business partner with 2 glasses of whiskey. "The one that says you would rather be anywhere else doing anything else." Nathan accepted the drink gratefully. These galas all blend together after a while. Same speeches, same people, same empty promises about making a difference. Gabriel followed Nathan's distant gaze and grinned. "Except you are not looking at the speeches or the usual crowd. You are staring at the woman in the navy dress who looks just as uncomfortable as you do." Nathan felt heat rise to his face but did not deny it. There was something captivating about the woman across the room. She held herself with quiet confidence, listening intently when others spoke rather than waiting for her turn to talk. When someone made her laugh, her whole face lit up with genuine warmth. The program began with hospital administrators thanking donors and introducing medical staff who had made exceptional contributions over the past year. When they called Olivia's name, Nathan watched her walk to the stage with reluctant grace, accepting recognition for saving 3 lives during a multi-vehicle accident last winter. Words that mattered. After the formal presentations, Olivia escaped to a quieter corner near the terrace doors, grateful for a moment of peace. She was checking her phone for any emergency calls when a warm voice spoke behind her. "You looked lost in thought during your introduction. Were you thinking about those patients you saved?" Olivia turned to find herself face to face with the handsome stranger she had noticed watching her earlier. Up close, she could see the genuine curiosity in his hazel eyes and the slight smile playing at the corners of his mouth. "I was thinking about the one we lost that night," she answered honestly. "A teenager who did not make it to surgery in time. His family donated to medical research in his name." Nathan felt something shift in his chest at her raw honesty. Most people at these events only shared polished success stories. "I am Nathan Sterling. You must be Dr. Olivia Bennet." "Just Olivia is fine," she replied, shaking his extended hand. "Let me guess, you are one of the generous benefactors who writes large checks and attends these events out of obligation?" "Guilty as charged," Nathan admitted with a self-deprecating smile. "Though I try to make sure my money goes toward actual innovation rather than administrative overhead. Sterling Tech focuses on creating medical devices that save time in critical situations." Olivia's eyes widened slightly. "Wait, you developed the portable ultrasound system we use in the emergency room. That technology has changed how we diagnose internal bleeding. It has saved countless lives." "That means more to me than any award or recognition," Nathan said quietly. "Knowing real doctors like you find it useful makes the endless development meetings worthwhile." They moved to the terrace where the night air offered relief from the crowded ballroom. Their conversation flowed naturally from medical technology to shared experiences growing up with demanding careers, from favorite books to dreams they had set aside in pursuit of success. Connection beyond words. Hours passed without either of them noticing. Nathan found himself sharing things he rarely discussed, like his complicated relationship with his mother who valued social status over personal happiness, and his fear that success had cost him the chance at genuine human connection. Olivia talked about her childhood decision to become a doctor after her younger brother nearly died from an undiagnosed condition. She described the exhaustion of residency, the weight of holding lives in her hands, and her dream of eventually joining an international medical relief organization. "You would leave a prestigious position here to work in dangerous conditions overseas?" Nathan asked, genuinely intrigued by her selflessness. "Some things matter more than safety or career advancement," Olivia replied simply. "I did not spend years training just to play it safe within comfortable hospital walls." When Harper finally found them to announce the hospital car had arrived, she discovered Olivia more relaxed than she had seen her in months. Nathan stood reluctantly as Olivia gathered her things, unwilling to let the evening end. "Could I see you again?" Nathan asked, his usual confidence wavering slightly. "Maybe dinner somewhere without speeches or formal wear?" Olivia hesitated, her practical nature warning her about starting something she could not properly maintain. "I work unpredictable hours and I am not really in a place where I can commit to serious dating." "Neither am I," Nathan admitted. "But tonight felt different." "You felt different." Something in his sincerity made Olivia reconsider. "I am off Wednesday evening." Nathan's face lit up with a genuine smile. "I know a small Italian place that serves incredible food. Very casual, no business associates or photographers." "That sounds perfect." 6 weeks later. Olivia sat on the closed toilet seat in the hospital staff bathroom, staring at the positive pregnancy test with trembling hands. She had suspected something was different when her usual morning routine started making her nauseous, but seeing the confirmation felt surreal. She and Nathan had seen each other 5 times after that initial dinner. Each date had deepened their connection, and one passionate night at his penthouse had felt inevitable, natural, right. But they had both agreed to keep things casual given their demanding careers. Now everything had changed. Olivia pressed a hand to her still flat stomach, her mind racing through impossible calculations. She was 28 with a career just gaining momentum. Nathan was a millionaire constantly traveling for business deals. They barely knew each other despite the intensity of their brief romance. Harper knocked softly on the bathroom door. "Olivia, you okay in there? Your shift starts in 10 minutes." Olivia stood on shaky legs, tucking the test into her pocket. She caught her reflection in the mirror and saw fear mixed with something else she could not quite name. Whatever happened next, her life would never be the same. "Give me 2 minutes, she called back, her voice surprisingly steady. As she washed her hands and straightened her scrubs, Olivia made a decision. She would tell Nathan soon, but first she needed to process this herself. She needed to figure out what she wanted before facing his reaction. But deep down, beneath the fear and uncertainty, a small part of her felt something unexpected. Hope, the weight of truth. 3 days passed before Olivia found the courage to contact Nathan. She had rehearsed the conversation 100 times in her mind, but every version felt inadequate. How did you tell someone that one passionate night had resulted in a pregnancy that would change both their lives forever? She finally sent a simple text message during her lunch break. "We need to talk. Can you meet me tonight?" Nathan's response came within minutes. "Of course. Same Italian restaurant at 7? Is everything all right?" Olivia stared at her phone, unsure how to answer. Instead, she simply replied with a confirmation and spent the rest of her shift trying to focus on her patients rather than the conversation that loomed ahead. The restaurant was quiet on a Thursday evening, with only a few tables occupied. Nathan was already waiting when Olivia arrived, his expression shifting from warm welcome to concern when he saw the tension in her shoulders. "You look exhausted," he said gently, standing to pull out her chair. "Bad week at the hospital?" Olivia sat down, her hands clasped tightly in her lap. "Nathan, there is something I need to tell you, and I am not sure how you are going to react." Breaking the news. Nathan reached across the table and covered her hands with his own. "Whatever it is, we can handle it. You can tell me anything." Olivia took a deep breath, meeting his eyes directly. "I am pregnant. About 6 weeks along. The baby is yours." The words hung in the air between them. Nathan's face went through several expressions in rapid succession: shock, confusion, calculation, and finally something that looked almost like wonder. He did not pull his hands away. "You are certain?" His voice was steady despite the obvious turmoil behind his eyes. "I took 3 tests to be sure. I have an appointment with my obstetrician next week for confirmation, but yes, I am certain." Olivia felt tears threatening but refused to let them fall. "I know this was not part of our plan. We barely know each other, and we agreed to keep things casual. I am not asking you for anything. I just thought you deserved to know." Nathan sat back in his chair, running a hand through his dark hair. His mind was racing, but not in the direction Olivia expected. "Asking me for anything? Olivia, this is my child too. Our child. That means I am involved, completely involved, if you want me to be." Olivia felt something loosen in her chest. "You are not angry?" "Angry?" Nathan shook his head, a strange smile crossing his face. "Shocked, terrified, completely unprepared, yes to all of those things. But angry? No. Maybe I should be more careful about saying this, but I have not stopped thinking about you since that first night at the gala. This is not how I imagine things progressing, but it does not change how I feel." Facing reality together. They talked through dinner, barely touching their food as they discussed practical matters. Olivia's lease on her small apartment, Nathan's penthouse that had never felt like a real home, their careers, their families, their complete lack of preparation for parenthood. "My mother is going to lose her mind," Nathan said, his expression darkening slightly. "Claire Sterling has very specific ideas about how her son's life should unfold, and having a baby with someone she considers unsuitable will not fit her vision." Olivia bristled slightly. "Unsuitable?" Nathan reached for her hand again. Her words, not mine. "My mother values social connections and family legacy above actual happiness. She has been trying to arrange suitable matches for years. The fact that we met organically and you have a career she might see as beneath our family's status will bother her." "I do not need her approval," Olivia said firmly. "I can raise this baby on my own if that is what you would prefer. I did not tell you because I want your money or your family's acceptance. I told you because you had a right to know." "That is exactly why I know we can make this work," Nathan replied. "You are not asking for anything except honesty. That is more than I have gotten from most people in my life." The ultrasound discovery. The following week, Nathan accompanied Olivia to her obstetrician appointment. Dr. James Morrison, who had mentored Olivia through residency, greeted them with professional warmth despite his obvious surprise at seeing one of his star physicians as a patient. "Well, Olivia, you certainly know how to keep life interesting," he said with a gentle smile. "Let us see what we are working with here." The ultrasound room was small and dimly lit. Olivia lay on the examination table while Nathan stood beside her, holding her hand with surprising tenderness. Dr. Morrison applied gel to her abdomen and moved the ultrasound wand across her skin. "There we are," he murmured, pointing to the screen. "There is your baby, and the heartbeat looks strong and healthy." Olivia felt tears slide down her temples as she watched the tiny flickering on the screen. Nathan squeezed her hand, his own eyes suspiciously bright. "Wait," Dr. Morrison said suddenly, moving the wand slightly. Oh my. What? Olivia's medical training immediately sent her mind racing through potential complications. Is something wrong? Nothing is wrong, Dr. Morrison assured her quickly. But it looks like you are having twins. 2 separate gestational sacs, 2 separate heartbeats. Congratulations, both of you. Twins? Nathan's voice cracked slightly on the word. 2 babies. Olivia stared at the screen where Dr. Morrison pointed out both tiny forms. Her mind spun with the implications. 2 babies meant twice the responsibility, twice the challenge, twice the impact on her career and their still developing relationship. But as Nathan leaned down and kissed her forehead gently, whispering that they would figure it out together, Olivia felt something she had not expected. Despite the fear and uncertainty, she felt a fierce protective love already forming for the 2 tiny lives growing inside her. Family complications. Breaking the news to their families proved as difficult as expected. Harper squealed with excitement despite her concern about the timing, immediately launching into plans for baby showers and nursery designs. Olivia's parents, who lived several states away, were shocked but ultimately supportive, promising to visit as soon as possible. Nathan's mother was another story entirely. Claire Sterling arrived at Nathan's penthouse 3 days after learning about the pregnancy, her designer suit and perfect makeup a stark contrast to Olivia's comfortable scrubs. She had come straight from a hospital shift to meet Nathan's family, exhausted and emotional. "So you are the doctor who has gotten herself pregnant with my son's children," Claire said coldly, her eyes sweeping over Olivia with obvious disapproval. "How convenient that you happened to meet at a charity event where you knew wealthy men would be present." "Mother, that is enough," Nathan said sharply, moving to stand beside Olivia. "Olivia is not after my money. She did not even want to tell me at first because she was prepared to handle this on her own." "Of course she would say that," Claire replied dismissively. "But here we are, and now my son is trapped by an unfortunate situation with someone completely inappropriate for our family." Olivia felt her temper flare despite her exhaustion. "With all due respect, Mrs. Sterling, I did not trap anyone. I am a successful physician with my own career and income. I do not need your son's money or your family's approval. I told Nathan about the pregnancy because he deserved to know, not because I expected anything from him." "How dare you speak to me that way," Claire hissed. "She can speak to you however she wants when you are insulting her in what will become her home," Nathan said firmly. "Mother, I love you, but if you cannot treat Olivia with respect, then you are not welcome here. These are my children, and Olivia is their mother. That makes her family, whether you approve or not." An unconventional proposal. After Claire left in a fury of expensive perfume and barely concealed rage, Nathan and Olivia sat together on his couch, both emotionally drained. "I am sorry about my mother," Nathan said quietly. "She can be difficult, but she will come around eventually. She always does when she realizes I am serious." "You do not have to choose between your family and me," Olivia replied. "I knew this situation would be complicated." Nathan turned to face her fully, taking both her hands in his. "Olivia, I have been thinking about this constantly since you told me. I know we have only known each other for a few weeks. I know this is not how either of us planned our lives. But I do not want to do this halfway." "What do you mean?" "I mean I want us to do this together, really together. Not just co-parenting from separate homes, but building a life together. Move in here. Let me support you through the pregnancy. Let us figure out how to be a family, even if we are still learning who we are to each other." Olivia felt her heart racing. That is a huge commitment based on a very short relationship and an unplanned pregnancy. "I know," Nathan agreed. "But I also know that I have never felt this way about anyone before. Maybe the timing is terrible, and maybe we are moving too fast, but when I think about you and these babies, I want all of it. I want to wake up next to you. I want to feel them kick. I want to be there for every appointment and every moment. Tears streamed down Olivia's face as she looked at this man who had entered her life so unexpectedly and now wanted to turn their accident into something intentional. It terrified her how much she wanted the same thing. "Okay," she whispered. "Let us try." Nathan pulled her close, and for the first time since seeing those positive pregnancy tests, Olivia let herself believe that maybe, just maybe, everything would work out after all. Building a life together. The first month of living together was an adjustment neither of them had fully anticipated. Olivia moved her belongings into Nathan's penthouse, transforming the sterile modern space into something that felt more like a home. Medical journals appeared on coffee tables, comfortable throw blankets draped over leather furniture, and the kitchen finally saw regular use as Olivia insisted on cooking healthy meals despite her demanding schedule. Nathan rearranged his office to accommodate a nursery planning corner, where paint samples and furniture catalogs competed for space with his business documents. Gabriel teased him mercilessly about his sudden obsession with comparing stroller safety ratings, but Nathan found himself genuinely excited about preparing for fatherhood. Harper visited frequently, bringing pregnancy books and sharing stories from her own sister's twin pregnancy. She had become one of their biggest supporters, helping Olivia navigate the physical challenges while encouraging Nathan to trust his instincts as a soon-to-be father. "You are glowing," Harper told Olivia during one visit, watching her friend arrange baby clothes they had purchased that afternoon. "I have never seen you this happy, despite everything," Olivia smiled, running her hand over her growing belly. "I never expected this, any of this. But somehow it feels right." When complications arise at 22 weeks, during a routine checkup, Dr. Morrison's expression shifted from warm to concerned as he studied the ultrasound monitor. Olivia recognized that look immediately from her own experience delivering bad news to patients. "What is wrong?" she asked, her medical training overriding her fear. "Your blood pressure is elevated, and there are early signs of preeclampsia," Dr. Morrison explained gently. "With twins, this risk is higher, but we caught it early. However, I am putting you on modified bed rest immediately. No more hospital shifts until after delivery." Olivia felt panic rising in her chest. "I cannot stop working. I have patients depending on me, cases I am supposed to oversee." "Your babies are depending on you more," Dr. Morrison said firmly. "Olivia, you know as well as I do what preeclampsia can become if left untreated. You need to prioritize your health, and there's right now." Nathan, who had been sitting quietly beside her, spoke up. "She will follow your orders completely. I will make sure of it." The drive home was tense and silent. Olivia stared out the window, feeling her carefully built career slipping away. She had worked so hard to establish herself, to prove she was more than capable, and now she was forced to step back at a critical time. "Talk to me," Nathan said softly as they entered the penthouse. "I can see your mind spinning." Olivia sank onto the couch, tears finally spilling over. "I am scared. Scared about the pregnancy, scared about losing my career momentum, scared that I am going to fail at everything all at once." Nathan sat beside her, pulling her close. "You are not going to fail. You are doing exactly what you need to do to keep our babies safe. That takes more strength than any surgery or emergency room crisis." Distance and decisions. 2 weeks into bed rest, Nathan received news that threatened to tear their fragile stability apart. Gabriel arrived at the penthouse with urgent business documents, his expression apologetic. "The Singapore expansion is hitting critical roadblocks," Gabriel explained. "The investors want to meet face to face, and they are threatening to pull funding if we do not have boots on the ground within the week. They specifically requested you." "Nathan, how long would I need to be there?" Nathan asked, though he already knew the answer would not be simple. "Minimum 3 weeks, possibly longer if negotiations get complicated." Gabriel glanced at Olivia, who was resting on the couch nearby. "I know the timing is terrible." Nathan ran a hand through his hair, torn between 2 enormous responsibilities. "This deal represents 18 months of work and millions of dollars in potential growth. But I cannot leave Olivia alone right now, not with the pregnancy complications." "You should go," Olivia said quietly, though her voice wavered slightly. "This is your company, your dream. I have Harper and my parents are planning to visit soon. We will manage. Absolutely not, Nathan replied firmly. There will be other deals, other opportunities. But there is only one chance to be here for you and our babies during this critical time. Gabriel looked between them, clearly uncomfortable with the tension. Let me see what I can do. Maybe we can set up video conferences, or I can go in your place initially. After Gabriel left, Olivia turned to Nathan with tears in her eyes. I do not want to be the reason you give up on your dreams. You have worked so hard to build Sterling Tech. If you resent me for holding you back, it will poison everything we are trying to build. Nathan knelt beside the couch, taking her face in his hands. Olivia, listen to me carefully. My company matters, yes. But you matter more. These babies matter more. 10 years from now, I would not remember the details of a business deal, but I would never forget missing these crucial weeks with you. The choice is easy. A mother's change of heart. That evening, an unexpected visitor arrived. Claire Sterling stood at the penthouse door, looking uncharacteristically uncertain. Nathan opened the door with surprise and wariness. Mother, what are you doing here? Claire's eyes softened as she looked past him to where Olivia rested on the couch. I came to apologize and to help if you will let me. Nathan stood aside, allowing his mother to enter. Olivia attempted to sit up straighter, but Claire gestured for her to remain comfortable. Please, stay as you are. I understand you need rest. Claire sat in a nearby chair, her usually perfect composure showing cracks. I have been terrible to both of you, and I am sorry. I let my prejudices and expectations blind me to what really matters. What changed your mind? Olivia asked cautiously. Claire smiled sadly. I ran into Dr. Morrison at a hospital board meeting. He mentioned your situation, how you are risking your health carrying twins, how you have been put on bed rest. He spoke very highly of your dedication and character. It made me realize I was judging you based on circumstance rather than seeing who you really are. She turned to Nathan. Your father called me yesterday. He is working overseas, but he wanted me to tell you that he is proud of the man you have become, the choices you are making. He reminded me that we built our life together through challenges, not despite them. I was so focused on protecting you that I forgot the most important thing parents can do is support their children's happiness. Tears rolled down Olivia's cheeks as Claire continued. I would like to be part of your lives, part of my grandchildren's lives, if you will allow me. I cannot promise I will be perfect, but I will try to do better. Nathan looked at Olivia, who nodded through her tears. Claire, we would like that, he said. These babies are going to need all the love and support they can get. The crisis point at 28 weeks, Olivia woke in the middle of the night with sharp pain radiating through her abdomen. Nathan jolted awake at her gasp, immediately alert. What is wrong? He asked, already reaching for his phone. Something is not right, Olivia managed through gritted teeth. The pain is too intense. We need to get to the hospital now. The drive felt endless despite Nathan breaking every speed limit. Harper met them at the emergency room entrance, having received Nathan's frantic call. Dr. Morrison arrived within minutes, his team already preparing for potential emergency delivery. Your blood pressure is dangerously high, and the babies are showing signs of distress, he explained quickly. We need to deliver now via emergency cesarean. It is earlier than we wanted, but waiting puts all three of you at risk. Olivia felt fear grip her heart. They are too early. 28 weeks is too early. They have a good chance, Dr. Morrison assured her. Our neonatal intensive care unit is one of the best. But we need to move quickly. Nathan held Olivia's hand as they prepped her for surgery, his face pale but determined. I love you, he whispered. You are the strongest person I know. You are going to get through this, and our babies are going to be fine. That I love you too, Olivia replied, the words feeling both natural and momentous. She had not said them before, had been afraid to acknowledge the depth of her feelings. But facing this crisis, she needed him to know. 2 tiny miracles. The surgery seemed to last both seconds and hours. Nathan waited in the hallway with Harper, Gabriel, and Claire, all of them united in their worry. When Dr. Morrison finally emerged, his surgical mask pulled down and a smile on his tired face, they all rushed forward. Olivia is stable and recovering well. The babies are in the NICU, but they are both breathing with minimal assistance. A boy and a girl, 2 pounds each. Tiny but fierce fighters, can I see them? Nathan asked immediately. Follow me. The NICU was a quiet space filled with soft beeping and hushed voices. Nathan stood before 2 small incubators, staring at the tiniest human beings he had ever seen. His son and daughter, impossibly small yet perfect, their little chests rising and falling with determination. They look like you, Harper said softly, appearing beside him. Same stubborn chin, Nathan laughed through tears. They look like survivors. Just like their mother. New beginnings. 3 days later, Olivia was wheeled to the NICU to see her babies for the first time. The nurses had positioned her chair between the 2 incubators, allowing her to place one hand in each. Through the porthole openings, she touched their impossibly small fingers, feeling them wrap around hers with surprising strength. Hello, my loves, she whispered. I am your mama. I am right here, and I am not going anywhere. Nathan sat beside her, his hand on her shoulder. What should we name them? Olivia looked at her daughter first. Grace, she said. Because she is a gift we did not expect but desperately needed. And our son? Nathan asked. Olivia looked at Nathan, seeing the man who had chosen them over everything else, who had proven that love could grow from unexpected beginnings. Hope. Because that is what this whole journey has been about. Finding hope in impossible circumstances. Grace and Hope Sterling, Nathan repeated, his voice thick with emotion. Perfect. 6 weeks later, the day they brought the twins home from the hospital, the penthouse was transformed. A nursery stood ready with 2 cribs, changing tables, and enough supplies to stock a small store. Harper had organized a welcome home gathering with close friends and family, keeping it small and manageable. Claire arrived early, her arms full of handmade quilts she had spent weeks creating. I wanted them to have something personal, she explained, showing the intricate stitching to Olivia. Each one tells a story about our family that I hope to share with them someday. They are beautiful, Olivia said sincerely, touched by the gesture. As evening fell and guests departed, Nathan and Olivia sat together in the nursery, watching Grace and Hope sleep peacefully in their cribs. The babies had gained weight steadily and were now healthy enough to thrive at home. Can you believe this is our life? Olivia asked softly. 6 months ago, I was just focused on my career, convinced I did not have time for relationships or family. Nathan pulled her close, kissing her temple. 6 months ago, I was going through the motions, building a company but not really living. You changed everything. We changed everything, Olivia corrected. You could have walked away when I told you I was pregnant. Instead, you chose to stay, to fight for us even when it was complicated and messy. Best decision I ever made, Nathan replied. Though I have to admit, I did not expect twins or emergency deliveries or learning to function on 2 hours of sleep. Olivia laughed quietly. Welcome to parenthood. It only gets more chaotic from here. Bring it on, Nathan said with a grin. As long as we are together, we can handle anything. 1 year later. The twins' first birthday party filled the penthouse with laughter and joy. Grace took wobbly steps between Harper and Claire, while Hope clapped enthusiastically from Nathan's arms. Olivia captured photos, her heart so full it felt like it might burst. She had returned to the hospital part-time, finding a better balance between her career and family life. Nathan had restructured Sterling Tech to allow more remote work, proving that success did not require sacrificing what mattered most. Together, they had built something neither had planned but both cherished deeply. As the party wound down and guests began to leave, Nathan found Olivia on the terrace, watching the city lights twinkle in the darkness. What are you thinking about? He asked, wrapping his arms around her from behind. About that first night at the gala, Olivia replied. How terrified I was of stepping outside my comfort zone. How I almost did not go. If Harper had not insisted, we never would have met. Then I owe Harper everything, Nathan murmured against her hair. Because that night changed my entire life. Olivia turned in his arms, looking up at the man who had proven that love could grow from the most unexpected places. Mine too. One wild night led to 2 beautiful babies and a love I never expected but now cannot imagine living without. Nathan kissed her softly. Here is to unexpected beginnings and forever after. As they stood together under the stars, with their daughters sleeping peacefully inside and their future stretching bright before them, Olivia knew that sometimes the best love stories were the ones you never saw coming. The ones that started with fear and uncertainty but grew into something stronger than any carefully laid plan. Their story had begun with one night, but it would last a lifetime. The end.